Yo, 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 everybody. Welcome to Garage Hanks today. This is your host, Bam Bam. Today we are doing things a little bit different than we normally do in here. And I'm going to introduce my friend Bailey. We went to high school together, middle school together.
Yeah.
Known each other quite some time. And she would like to bring up a topic that is very unknown to most alive, breathing, common topic, not a common topic. So with that being said, I will let you kind of take the wheel here
Okay.
and explain.
Pulmonary embolism. My fiance, Mike, died December 12th, just about 2 months ago. One morning, that Friday morning, he was in the kitchen. I was in the living room with my 5-year-old. And my 5-year-old had the flu. His son came to the living room and got me. And he said he needed help with his dad. So I get up, and by this time, Mike was on the bathroom floor, face down. I immediately called 911, and I sat next to him, and he said he couldn't breathe. And it was hard to breathe, and I was like, they're on their way, hold on, please just hold on. And he grabbed my hand. He told me he loved me. I told him I loved him too. And I said, just hold on, Mike. They're on their way. And I'm yelling at the dispatch on the phone. I'm like, you guys need to get here now. He can't breathe. They finally showed up. And they're like, what's going on? And I'm like, he can't fucking breathe. Save him. They pulled him out into our mudroom. And I didn't realize, all 3 boys they could see what was going on. I was in shock. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream, cry, nothing. And not even like 2 minutes later, he was gone. He turned a different color. His eyes were a different color. They weren't baby blue anymore. And I knew he was gone. And they were doing CPR. And they kept doing CPR for what seemed like 20 minutes. And they took him in the ambulance. And what people don't talk about is what happens when the ambulance leaves. That's when the real nightmare begins. Losing him has been a tragedy, but what came after has been hell. And I wouldn't want anyone else to go through this. What happened next was insecurity, instability, not having a safe place. I mean, with no will, no legal protections in place, you can lose everything overnight. And that's what happened to me and my boys. 1 minute we were a family of 5, and the next minute we were watching paramedics trying to save him, and we lost everything. We lost him, we lost his son, we lost our house. And it's been so damn hard. I don't know how to protect my kids right now. They're grieving someone who they loved so much, who was like their dad. And not having him around, being our safe place, and being told we need to move in the middle of winter with nowhere to go. I feel like I'm failing them as a mom. I've known Mike since I was 13 years old. We dated when we were teenagers. He lived in Louisiana during the school year and came back during the summers to visit. We drifted apart because of the distance. And we kept in touch throughout the years. He found out I was expecting Jonathan. He congratulated me. And we had just asked how each other, how we were doing throughout the years. Back in 2023, we got a hold of each other and we're just like, previous relationships have sucked so much, and we started hanging out, and then he wanted to give his son's mom a chance to work it out as a family, and I got that. I understood it. And I said, all right, we'll be friends. It's fine. Well, it ended up not working out, and he's like, you know what? I fucked up. I'm like, yeah, I was just waiting for you to realize that. And we finally got back together December 2023. And we've been together every single day since then. And we were building a life together. We went on family vacations. We talked about marriage. He asked my dad, before he died, if he could marry me, and we were planning to go down to Tennessee this October with our boys, his best friend, my parents, get a cabin, and just do like an elopement, something small, nothing big. We weren't big into weddings. And he got us a dog a week before he passed. But December 12th changed everything. Pulmonary embolism is something no one is prepared for. It's a blood clot that starts like in the leg or any part of the body, and it can go up to your lungs, and it can cause blockage in your lungs, and no oxygen gets to like your brain and your heart, and that's what happened. It was a massive pulmonary embolism. We were supposed to spend the rest of our lives together. Instead, he spent the rest of his life with me. We were just supposed to have more time. And I want to bring awareness to people, because Mike didn't have a will. The house was in his name, but there was no will. There's no legal protections for me and the kids to stay there. That's why we are being forced to move. And I want people to know, make a will, put legal protections in place so this doesn't happen to your family. It doesn't matter how young or old you are, death doesn't wait for anyone. Mike was 37. He was healthy. Nothing was wrong with him. And it just happened. And I wish, everything that's happened with me and the boys was just, a really, really bad dream. I want people to understand how serious this is. Each year, 100,000 people die in the U.S. from a pulmonary embolism. And there's 67 to 76% of American adults who don't have a will. And the reason for that is procrastination. They don't think they need it. They're too young, they're too healthy. Nothing's going to happen, but tragedy can happen at any moment. Mike and I thought we had forever, and we didn't. It's been very, very hard. I made a promise to Mike at the funeral in my eulogy. I promised him that I would honor his name. Part of honoring his name now is spreading awareness and letting people know, like, get a will, put legal protections in place, put guardianship in place, so you don't have to go through this nightmare. It's been hard.
Yeah, when we were talking in the house, it's just nothing but just shaking the head. It's just, does it just, this happen? It just, or does like blood, like, has it, I don't know, I guess if I had to say it, is it like something that just, like you said, happens, or is it just something that kind of like builds up and then happens? Or, because I've never heard of this until I heard your story about, him and what happened.
Yeah, so he did have leg pain a couple of weeks prior. He said he pulled a muscle, and like a couple of days later, he said like his leg still hurt, and I'm like, okay, go to the doctor. I'm like, you shouldn't be limping like that. And he's like, no, I just pulled a muscle. And I'm like, stop being stubborn. Go to the doctor. I said, I'm like a health freak. Like, I go to the doctor for very, very little things. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it took the doctors 23 years to diagnose me with a seizure disorder. And I got diagnosed back in July last year. Because I knew something was wrong. I would faint a lot. And, like, I would turn, like, pale white. I could feel, like, my brain felt like it was on fire. And I would just drop to the floor. There was a couple times Mike had to catch me so I didn't hit my head or anything. And, like, my heart would race, like, really fast. One time it got up to, like, 190, I think. And one day Mike was at work, and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I felt super nauseous, and I fainted, and Mike was already gone, and the boys were at the house with me. And I woke back up. I was like, I really need to go to the doctor. I put my boys in the car. We went to the ER, and I checked in, and I go to sit down, and my 11-year-old Jonathan was like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I don't feel good. And I went to stand up, and I collapsed again. Jonathan ran to the desk. He's like, my mom fell down. So, like, a bunch of nurses came out, and they took me into the room, and my two boys are right there. And, like, I hate that they saw this. I didn't want them in the room with me because my heart rate went down to 19, and then my blood pressure went down, and I passed right back out, and I started having a seizure, and my boys saw it. My boys thought I was dying, and that was very tragic for them because they still talk about it to this day.
Right.
And I told the nurses when I woke back up, I'm like, I was at home, I hit my head, and they're like, okay, we're going to run some tests, and they did an MRI, and then they did this strobe light thing, which really made me super nauseous, and then a couple days later, I find out that I have a seizure disorder, and it blew my mind, because I'm like, I always knew something was wrong, but why did it take 23 years? Doctors always brushed it off as anxiety or something viral, and I'm just like, this is not something viral. I should not be passing out and feeling like I'm dying every time. Well, with Mike and his leg pain, I'm just like, please go get it checked out. He's like, I'm fine, Bailey. You're overreacting. I'm like, I'm not. Like, it should not hurt you this bad. Well, I think, like, that leg pain was actually the blood clot. I've done my research in, blood clots usually start in the leg and then they travel upward once they break off and they go into the lungs. And I wish if I just would have pushed him harder, maybe, just maybe, he would still be here. My boys are traumatized. I am too. I mean, we saw the person we loved who was supposed to be here forever. He passed away in front of us, and now we have to build a whole new life while grieving him. And I don't think families should have to worry about keeping a roof over their children's heads while grieving. I don't know. I mean, sudden death, obviously it can happen to anyone, but it really does show people's true colors. You learn who stands with you and who doesn't. And yeah, there's been family conflict, and I wish it was different, but this is what happens when there's no legal protections in place.
So you've, not trying to get off subject, but you've had that going on for that long a time, 23 years of that going on, and nobody...
No, the first time it happened was...
That's got to be back to, like, what, middle school?
Yeah, I was... What grade was Mr. Moore? You remember Mr. Moore? Was it Mr. Moore?
Washington?
Franklin. Was his name Mr. Moore? I can't remember.
I had a Mr. Moore at Washington, but how were you in A, B, or C in middle school? Because I think I was in B.
I don't know. I can't remember middle school.
I remember hardly last week, but yeah.
I remember, like, blue lockers. Does that count?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, blue lockers for sure. I don't remember Mr. Moore.
He was a bigger guy. No offense.
Oh, no,
Was his name Mr. Moore?
Didn't he? He might have actually went to Franklin, too. I'm not sure. I don't remember, but...
I don't know what grade it was, but...
What elementary school would you go to?
I went to a lot. I went to Wilson, Jefferson, Kennedy. Well, I guess only 3, but that's a lot to a kid.
Right.
And I went to 2 middle schools. So 6th grade I was at Marshall. So it had to have been 7th or 8th grade because I was at Franklin then.
Right.
But 7th or 8th grade was the first time it happened. I was in class, and I think it was like social studies or something. And I went to stand up, and I had to like turn my paper in or something, and all of a sudden I just collapsed. And I woke up in the hallway, and like all the kids in class were like freaking out, and the teachers were panicking. Like the principal and like a bunch of teachers and the nurse came, and like they had my feet up, and they like put something underneath my head and gave me an ice pack and put it on my head, and they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "What happened?"
Right.
And I'm like about to cry. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, "You passed out." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I should go to the doctor." And I went to the doctor, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's just anxiety, I don't see anything going on," but they didn't do any tests.
How can you determine something like that if you're not even doing tests or nothing? That's just that's just pushing you out the door, like
right. And so like since then, I would tell myself it's anxiety, because I went to the doctor several more times throughout 23 years. I swear I've been to the doctor every year. A few times because it's not normal. It's not fucking normal. Like,
no.
I don't know. I mean, if I was a doctor, I'd be doing every damn test in the book.
Right.
And, last year I like had enough and I just finally lied and I'm like, hey, I hit my head. I need an MRI or something. And sure enough, you have seizures. It blows my mind.
You know, go to the doctor. Just go to the doctor, but I have a problem with them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with going because, like, we, like, as adults now, know if something's really, really wrong. Like, obviously, you get a cold, it could turn into strep or pneumonia or something like that, dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
But, like, something like that, I'll go to the doctor for, like, a broken bone or shortness of breath or something like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't trust them, and that's exactly why I don't, because they get paid. They're there to serve
Mm-hmm.
people that need help. Like, just imagine if it was one of their kids.
Yeah.
What if it was their sister or brother or their wife or husband? I'm sure they'd take it serious then, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's what drives me absolutely nuts, just about that whole... Because what if, now, again, back to the what ifs, what if he did go
Right.
and they said nothing was wrong with him?
Yeah.
Then, what happens? What happened? Who's that fall onto?
Exactly.
Because something could have been taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
prevented, and it didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to get into the what ifs or anything like that. It sucks, but, we're humans, we have them kind of thoughts, but...
Right. I always have those thoughts.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you now?
Yeah. He even said, he's like, it's a waste of time. I was like, yeah, I get it, but look how long it took me to get diagnosed with something that I need medication now.
Right.
And he's just like, it's fine, Bailey. And I'm like, okay. So.
Yeah, after finding out what happened, me and her kind of, like, she's been pushing me for a while to go to the dentist because I do have a cracked tooth and it's just not getting any better, obviously. And I'm not trying to drift onto me or anything.
No.
It's just, it makes sense to go take care of this stuff now, and it's not just pushing it off, because for me, pushing off my teeth for so many years, I have a gum disease now that is actually traveling through my blood that over time could potentially kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And that just, it freaked me out. I wish, what if I would have listened to my parents, or what if, and now it's like, I can make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's learning something that, being too stubborn, or it is just a leg pain, or, whatever at work, or you pulled something doesn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
Just, I'm probably gonna go get, even if I pull something out here carrying something heavy in the house, like, and I don't feel right, like, 9 times out of 10, I'll probably end up going out. It just to be, because you know yourself better than anybody else, and you know when something's wrong, and when it's severe, and, it just blows my mind that the doctor, I'm not saying every doctor's like that, but it's like, how many did you go to throughout the town or different towns, or, that's just insane to me.
Yeah, I know. I like told my parents, and they're like, it took you 23 years? And I'm like, yeah, because even like my parents would show up, even Mike, like that day I was in the ER, he's like, you guys need to do tests. Like, she should not be fainting, especially in front of her kids, and they think she's dying.
Yeah.
Like, he was also like advocating for me. And like, he was there holding my hand when I fainted again in the hospital bed. And that's when like my heart rate and blood pressure dropped. And when that happens, like, I literally feel like I'm dying. Like, I turn pale white, I get super sweaty, my hands shake, and I could just feel like everything draining out of me, and it's fucking terrifying. Like, and I haven't had one since then because I'm on medication now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I hate that I have to be on medication the rest of my life.
I mean, it's not like a Percocet or like, or Oxycontin or something stupid like that, where like you can get addicted off of it, at least. I mean, You say you haven't had one in about a year?
It'll be a year in July. Yeah.
Well, at least that's not happening no more. And,
Yeah.
you know, it's scary driving with your kids in the car and
Oh, yeah.
knock out. I mean, that's just, even at home making food, like pan tip over and, you know, potentially burn you. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
That's just wild. I didn't know that. I mean, obviously you don't go around sharing that with people, but I mean, still, it's just, I had no idea that you even were going through that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's
Wild.
crazy. There was one time last year, it was back in March. I don't know, I drove to Madison because I drove to Madison because they have Global Market up there, and they have like the best like boba tea, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I really wanted one. And I drove to Madison to get one. And because Janesville doesn't have anything, Broadhead, it's too small of a town. They have
Right.
a Quick Trip and a McDonald's.
Right.
And so I went to Madison, and I'm on my way back, and I'm on, I don't know, the highway, whatever it's called, but I start feeling like I'm going to pass out. And my hands start to get really shaky, and I'm like, oh my God, it's happening. I pulled over off the highway, immediately called 911. And, like, I could just see, like, I'm turning pale white. And I laid back in my seat. I put my feet up on top of my steering wheel. The ambulance showed up, and they took me to the hospital, and they called Mike, and he left work and went to the hospital, and he's like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, it's happening, like, I don't know, because last year from January till June, it happened like twice a month. And
Just out of nowhere, too.
yeah, out of nowhere. And so, like, even then, when I was at the hospital, they did an EKG. They didn't do anything of the brain or anything, but they, like, gave me an IV, and they're like, yeah, you know, we don't see anything, and just try to take it easy. And they said to follow up with my doctor, and I did follow up with my doctor. But then again, like, you know, that's when I realized, like, maybe I should just start lying. Like, hey, I hit my head, and I don't know, it's,
Just to get yourself
yeah.
an answer.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
Yeah.
That would drive me absolutely nuts, trying to figure that out for that many years and not being able to get a solution to it. Like, that's just,
Yeah.
like you said, you just laugh at it now. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, but let's get back focusing on.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that about you, and I was just curious and interested. So, I mean, obviously, people that will watch this, if you have a problem with yourself, really go check yourself out. And
Even if it's something little.
yeah, I
Just
mean,
go.
yeah, because like I said, I sat down and talked to Amber, and I was just like, the human body is such a weird organism that like anything can just happen at any time. And again, that's what I was saying before the show. It's just be nice and, you know, freaking have a good time while you're here and not, you know.
Well, just like, not to get off topic again, my son Jonathan.
It happens with this show. It honestly does. It just goes everywhere. It is what it is.
Jonathan, he's 11. Back in.
That's crazy. He's already that old.
I know. He turns 12 the 21st.
That's so crazy.
So next weekend. Oh my God.
That's so crazy.
Back in 2022, I always knew Jonathan was delayed with like walking and talking. And I always knew like something was going on. And again, this was 11 years ago, and I like, when he started talking and stuff, it was different than a normal 1-year-old, whatever, baby, I don't know. And so I got him into like birth to 3. It's like a therapy thing, and I like advocated for him at schools and to get him like an IEP and help him because he wasn't like other kids his age. Back in 2022, my other son, Caden, was 2 years old. I was doing something with him in the kitchen, and Jonathan fell, and he cut open like right here next to his eye. And he doesn't cry or scream when he gets hurt. He will try to hide it. And he was hiding underneath the blanket, and I'm like, what's going on? And he poked his head up, and it was just like gushing blood, and I'm like, ugh. I get so nauseous when I see blood. I can't. I'm like, all right, let's go to the doctor. And they had to stitch him up, and they're like, we're gonna do, a CAT scan or whatever it's called. And so they did, and they're like, we see something on it. He needs an MRI at Children's Hospital. And I'm like, okay, well, when's that gonna be? Well, this was February when it happened. We couldn't go get an MRI until the end of May. And so it was so booked out. So we had to wait till the end of May. He got his MRI done. Come to find out, he has had 2 strokes in the past. And that's why he's delayed.
Back when he was...
So basically, when he was born, he had 2 strokes on the left side and right side of his brain.
Oh, wow.
And I was never
Notified.
Yeah, I was never told that. Yeah. So I found that out, and it broke my heart because Jonathan, he looks like a normal kid. He's definitely normal to me. But when you talk to him, you can tell there's like a delay. 90% of the time, I can understand him. Sometimes when he meets new people, they can't understand what he says. And then that causes him to shut down and, like, he's like, Mom, why can't they understand me? And I'm like, buddy, it's okay. I will help.
Yeah.
So, and I advocated for him. I went through the state of Wisconsin, and I got someone through the state to help us get like a better IEP for him, and she now goes with us to every IEP meeting and even like doctor's visit, and she will fight for him along with me. So
That's wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you couldn't do anything, like...
Nope.
So how did they actually find that out, though? Like, when he had those 2 right off the bat, was it like when you were giving birth, or like was that like days after? Or?
When I gave birth to him, he wasn't making a noise or anything. They said the cord was wrapped around his neck, and they did an ultrasound and an x-ray on him. He finally started making a noise. But then they said, he was okay. He was good to go. But I'm thinking, now this is just me thinking, when he came out and the cord was wrapped around his neck, that cut off oxygen. And maybe that's what caused him to have the strokes. I don't know, because it's been so long. And when the doctor we did see, who was very helpful at Children's Hospital, he's now retired, but when he told us, Jonathan had 2 strokes, he was the one that gave us resources and, the person to be his advocate and everything. And he's like, he could tell, like, it happened at birth. And I did look into it to try and, like, I talked to a lawyer, and they're like, well, you're basically at the mark where it's been so long, you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
Like,
of course, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had the cord wrapped around my neck too a couple times.
Really?
And they were like on that verge of like if you didn't cut it, I was gonna
Yes.
go. From what I was told, I mean,
Mhm.
not gonna get in that conversation either, but that's just so wild.
Mhm.
She's gone through way too much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my life could be a movie at this point. I should write a book about it.
Should.
Yeah,
Never know.
yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping and praying for good luck for my boys and I, but it's been 2 months and I'm just like, when will we receive good news? It's, I don't like living in this nightmare right now. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah. I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Back in October, Mike booked us. Well, okay, let me start over. We went to Bass Pro Shops. It was a Sunday, and I hate doing things on a Sunday. Absolutely hate it because the next day is Monday and you have work, and it's just Sundays are for relaxing. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Well, he really wanted to go to Bass Pro Shops, so I was like, all right, let's go. So it was me, him, and Caden. We go there, and there's like those people there that like sell like vacations or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
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 So we go in, and immediately someone was like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute?
A classic line.
And I look at Mike, and I'm like, just say no. And he's like, I can't. I'm not that kind. I'm just fucking do it. And I walk away. I'm hoping he follows me. But no, he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, really? I'm going to go look at shoes then with Caden. And so I'm thinking they're going to talk like 30 minutes tops. Well, me and Caden walked around the whole store, and we're just looking at stuff. An hour goes by. And I go back, and they're still talking, and I'm like, guess we're going to go look at the fish. So we go look at the fish and all like the taxidermy stuff, and then we're looking at clothes for Caden, and it's 2 hours at this point. And I'm like, okay, he has to be done. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to sleep. And I go back and I walk by him. I'm like, are you done? And he's like, just hold on, hold on. And he just smiles at me, and I'm like, but I couldn't be mad because he had these baby blue eyes that I just loved. And I'm like, all right, give me more time. um, and so go buy the fishing stuff, and I start grabbing stuff, and I was going to buy him for fishing, and I bought a pair of shoes, and by this time it's like 2 hours, 30 minutes, and I'm like, all right, it's almost 3 hours. I go back. He's like, hey, guess what? And I'm like, what? I said, are you ready to go? He's like, no, I still have to shop. And I'm like, we've been here all day. He's like, no, we haven't. I'm like, it's been almost 3 hours. Yes, we have. Like, I'm ready to go. And he's like, well, you know how you always book, like, awesome vacations and stuff? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I booked us something. I'm like, oh, really? And I was excited because I love vacations. I said, where are we going? He's like, well, that's the thing. We can pick where we're going to go, so I figured you could help me. And I'm like, I thought you just said you booked a vacation. He's like, well, I put money down. And I'm like, but you don't know where we're going yet? And he's like, no, I thought you could help because you're really good at planning stuff. And I'm like, so I have to plan this vacation. And he's like, well, Bailey, you're really good at it, and I love the vacations we go on. And I'm like, all right. So we got home. After he went shopping, of course, that was another hour. And I was like, where are we going? We got to pick from like Orlando, Smoky Mountains, Ozark Mountains, and Louisiana. And he lived in Louisiana before, so he's like, not there. And I'm like, all right, maybe some other time. And we just went to Florida in August, and we were in Tennessee too. So he's like, well, what about the Ozark Mountains? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool, something different. And so we were looking at like all these things to do, and like there's like a golf cart like tour thing. You go in like these caves and stuff, and by like a waterfall, and there's this really cool like chapel on like, I don't know, a mountain or hill, whatever, and like it has like a really big cross like by the windows. You walk in, you could see like the lake and mountains, and like it's like a very pretty view. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. We can do the golf cart thing, go out to eat, maybe even Silver Dollar City. And I'm like, all right. And so like we're planning all this, and we were planning it for like springtime or something to go, because summer is not fun going on vacation. I don't know, it's too crowded. I like to go in the off season.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So you know, now that he's not here, I figured I would take my boys and still do that vacation and bring his ashes with. So.
And that's, you said it's going to be in Tennessee?
So
No, where's...
yeah, so it'll be in Missouri.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the boys and I will go there. We were supposed to go to Tennessee in October.
That's why I was getting confused, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's still cool that you're going to take the kids and, you know, go have some fun, and
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. That's life. And it sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I really, when I was reading like the percent of like how many people in America don't have a will, it's like 76%. It just blew my mind.
That is a
And
really high number,
it really
to
is.
be honest.
And I mean, we were one of those people, and I don't know. I never thought we'd be a statistic, and I wish, like, I never expected anything. Even if he did have a will, I never expected anything. I just wanted to spend my life with him.
Right.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, we were a family of 5, and it's just going from a family of 5 to a family of 3. I never expected it. I always expected we would always be together, and unfortunately, you know, that's not the case anymore. So I want people to make wills, legal protections in place, guardianship. It doesn't matter. Like I said earlier, it does not matter how young or old you are. Protect your family, protect your loved ones, especially your kids.
Yeah.
My boys, they miss Mike's son a lot. And, you know, they ask all the time when we can see him.
And I think that's so unfair for that other party to hold that against them. That's just... Like I was saying, kids are just so helpless. They, you know, they absorb so much, and, you know, and when something like that happens, it's just... I mean, it...
Like I told you not the other day, this earlier. The other day, my 5-year-old Caden, you know, was asking, why is everything changing? Why do we have to move? And he started crying, and he told me, he's like, I want to be in heaven with Mike. No 5-year-old should be saying that.
No.
He understands everything that's going on. And he's 5. It broke my heart, because what do you say to a 5-year-old when they ask that, or when they say that?
Yeah, when you were telling me that, I just couldn't... I couldn't imagine, you know, like... People just don't know how it is until it happens to them, you know? And that's... Like, you can obviously, you know, some people may or may not have their grandparents pass, but, you know, they can still feel empathy and sorry and, you know, like, all that. But when you're really in that position, people really don't know until it happens to them, and then they really understand, like, they really understand and get a grasp of it, you know? It's just...
Yeah.
I don't know. I could not imagine. And when is a good time to tell people bad news? You know, like,
Right.
you know, and to presented to them as well too at such a young age, because it's like I just get my mind like running around in circles. It's just so hard to like understand that. Like it's not hard, but it is like I couldn't imagine. It's crazy.
It really is.
Especially for the kids. I feel really bad for you, obviously, too, but like the kids, it's just like they're the ones that are going to have to deal with this longer than, you, unfortunately. Because, once you leave, then.
And that's another thing
You
they
know.
bring up. They watched Mike die. And especially my 5-year-old, he has panic attacks like every day. He's like, Mom, I don't want you to leave. Please don't die. And I'm like, I'm not, and I don't want to like lie to him, but I'm like, I'm not dying anytime soon, buddy. I'm here. I'm here with you right now. We are going to, work through this together. We're going to try and, start a new chapter because it's what we have to do. There's some days I can't even get out of bed. And yeah, I feel like a shitty mom when I can't get out of bed. But when I do get out, it's because of my boys. And I'd hate to say it. And it's going to sound really, really bad of me to say. Everything I have been through these past 2 months, if I didn't have my boys, I would not be here right now. Because I'm living a full-on nightmare. Everything that's happened has made me not want to be on this earth anymore. My boys are the only thing keeping me here because they already lost Mike. I don't want them to lose me too. And I know it's a crappy thing to say, but
It's how you feel.
yeah.
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
So, yeah. It's been hard.
It's like hard for me to like just to keep like talking. I just like don't know what to say, like, and not in a bad way. It's just like I'm just stunned, and me and you haven't always been the closest, but it's just like I feel for you.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome if you need anything. Reach out to me and Amber for anything.
Appreciate it.
Past doesn't matter. Like none of that stuff matters. We're here right now, and I don't know if you really want to announce it or anything for the thing you're having at Lucky Bell at the end or whatever. We can address that, and I can put a date and stuff on there, and
Yeah.
just for the people of the surrounding area that friends and family. It'd be great to have a packed house for that and really get some for you guys and get taken care of.
Yeah.
I wish there was more that, like if I had a rental property or something, I'd let you guys move in there. But unfortunately, I don't. I gotta rent.
Yeah.
I'm renting from my uncle.
Anyone has a rental property.
And unfortunately, he doesn't have anything right now either. Everything that he has is booked up.
Mm-hmm.
I even reached out to him and asked him to,
Yeah.
just so you know that I wasn't just gonna
Appreciate
tell you that. Don't want to. I'm not trying to be that guy, but I did ask him if there was anything and kind of told him what was going on, and he was like, unfortunately, I don't right now, and that's just.
Yeah, there's been like a bunch of people that have reached out. Even before I did the news story a couple weeks ago, people were reaching out, and people I've never even talked to before, and that I've never even met, and they were offering their condolences and offering to make food and all of this stuff, and even like offering to watch the boys for a couple hours just so I could go on a drive or just sit and scream and cry and yell at the world. And because I haven't been able to do that yet, I haven't been able to properly grieve yet, and it's been 2 months. I feel like I've been on the go since the morning he passed because of people around me. And I had really bad anxiety ever since then too. And, trying to find a place to live, I barely sleep. I barely eat. And part of like the eating thing is because I feel bad. I didn't make dinner the night before he passed. Caden had a high fever. It was like 104. I took him to the emergency room, and we got back home at like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and Mike was sleeping in his chair, and I'm like, hey, are you hungry? And he's like, no, I'm fine. And I'm like, hey, why don't you go upstairs and go to bed? Caden has the flu. He didn't hear me, so I was like, hey, go upstairs, go to bed. Caden has the flu. I don't want you getting sick. And so he went upstairs. He gave me a kiss goodnight, and I slept in the living room with Caden that night. And then, the next morning, I don't want to say I'm glad I was home, but if it weren't for Caden having the flu, I usually leave work at like 6:15 in the morning. Mike and his son usually got the kids on the bus. Everything happened like 6:30, 6:40.
Like when you're supposed to do his normal thing.
Yeah. So I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I was able to hold him and hear his, last words. But also, like, it kills me. I, hear the last words, I love you, would play in my head every day. And I think, nights are the worst because now it's just me and the two boys. And, it used to be a house of 5, and it used to be chaotic, and, it's the best thing ever. I had the best family. And I always dreamed of having that family. Now I don't.
Dude, it's like so hard for me not to cry right now. Like, dude, it's so hard.
I know.
It's just so sad. It's so sad.
Yeah. But the benefit we're having, it's for the boys and I. It's for housing expenses, moving expenses, down payment, security deposit, whatever. We still haven't been able to find a place yet, which sucks. And the benefit will be at Buckys Lucky Bell in Janesville, February 28th from 1 to 4. We have over 30 raffle baskets so far.
Oh, wow.
And I think we're getting more. We have things from a signed football from the Packers.
Oh, wow.
We have $500 worth of gift certificates from a tattoo shop downtown in Janesville. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Alkali?
No.
Metatoya?
Yes, that's it.
It took me forever to figure out how to say it, too. They're good. They're good people over there, too.
Yeah, they
good
all
people.
donated. I actually got this tattoo. It says, Michael, I look for you in every sunset. It's the sunset, sunflower, and a lily. We would watch the sunset all the time in the summer on the porch, and we had gardens, had gardens. We had a vegetable garden, a flower garden, and he would help me plant lilies and sunflowers all the time. So I wanted something. Becky from the tattoo shop, she gifted this to me. Everyone there I love everyone there. Aaron Child, even, he graduated with Mike in high school.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Aaron's good.
Yeah.
Good person.
And, I mean, there's even I don't know if I said it already, my brain fog is everywhere. A gift certificate from Lake Geneva cruise. It's like an hour or two, I can't remember. Wine baskets, there's a meat raffle, lottery board, and I think like a 50-50, but there's also, there's a bunch of cool gifts people have donated, and I really appreciate it. Like Janesville community, Broadhead community, even Monroe and Evansville, you can't forget about them. I didn't realize, like, how much people would come together for me and my boys. Because once the funeral ended, a lot of people disappeared. And then my mom texted me one day and she's like, how would you feel about doing a benefit? And I'm like, I don't know, because...
Well, the circumstances people are saying, and...
Yeah. So, and I told her, I said, don't do one. Well, then my dad, my stepmom, my whole family, basically, they're like, just do it. I'm like, all right, well, it's not on me. So, and then my mom was telling me of, like, all these gift baskets people were, or raffle baskets people were donating, and how we even got the football from the Packers and all that. And I'm just like, wow, people really are amazing. I never expected any of this. And, people are still, like, making meals for me and the boys. I haven't been able, and I feel bad, I haven't been able to cook in 2 months. And if I go to, like, the grocery store and I smell, like, I swear there was, like, one time I was at Woodman's. I went to Woodman's once since he passed, and I could smell his cologne, and I lost it. I broke down crying. I left my cart in the middle of the aisle, and I just left. I couldn't do it. So now I just, like, DoorDash and all that.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in therapy. I've been diagnosed with PTSD. My boys are in therapy. It's just, I don't know.
It's a lot.
It is.
This is probably one of the hardest episodes I've ever had to do, and I've done damn near almost 60 episodes, and
Yeah.
this is a rough one. Only just because I personally know you.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be any different if I didn't, but it just goes to show that you just don't know, but you also just got to be nice too, like,
Yeah.
and
Always be kind.
yeah, always just be yourself and be nice and be kind, because like we talked about, people don't go through it until it happens to them, and then that's when they really start clicking and hearing that saying, like, oh, I've heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense now, and it makes sense because you went through it to make it make sense.
Yeah. And I hope, like...
Fucking crazy.
I hope one day, because of, like, what we're doing with the benefit and me reaching out to you and, the news station and stuff, I hope this can be, like, something bigger. Like I said earlier, I made a promise to Mike I would honor his name. I want to, like, I don't know, maybe make a nonprofit one day in his name and, help families that go through this, or, give them the support and resources that they would need, just so they feel a little bit more secure and, not so much alone. Because like me and my kids found out firsthand, we found out, like, you really learn who stands with you and who doesn't. And I don't want other families to go through that. If we could just help one family, then Mike's life and our story still has meaning. So I hope people take away from this, like, to protect their families, make a will, put guardianship in place. It doesn't matter how old you are. Get those legal protections in place, even if you don't have a lot of assets or no assets at all. Just do it. You can always change your will later on if you need to add people or something to it. Mike and I thought we had more time.
Well, yeah, nowadays I think, and I'm not saying this is how you guys are, but people forget that we're not just here to wake up every day and go to work and go to the bathroom and eat and go home, and I think that just comes with more age and more wisdom, but people really need to start taking in and out, because you just need to sit here and enjoy and take every moment as you possibly can, and cherish it. Like I tell her all the time, I mean, who don't fight? I mean, we fight, we argue, whatever, it's with everybody. And I just, every time we do that, we have to sit there and collect and be like, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing right now. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. So let's make micro adjustments to change, and that's why we're here. I personally think we're here to learn, grow, and be better than who we were the day before. And, it's, and a shitty situation like this, for you and your kids anyway, it's, I don't know, it like shakes me, it's like shaking me up. Like it's just, you just never think you're going to go through something, and you can. You just, like, again, the clock starts, clock ends. We don't know in that gap of that time, and that's why you just have fun, be nice, treat each other like.
You never know.
And it sounded like,
going through.
Well, that's another thing too, is that nowadays with people judge off of this and visuals, and you just don't know how nice people are until you actually give people a chance and just, or, hey, so-and-so did that back in 8th, 9th grade. What makes you think I want to talk to them now? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, we're really, really past all that now. Like, how many kids graduated after us? Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, and I just think all that comes with experience in life and learning, and really not taking things for granted, and cherishing the socks on your feet to the hair product you put in your hair. I mean, it's weird enough to say it like that, but thankful for this water that we have, thankful that we're able to document something like this for other people. Like, that's the kind of lifestyle that I really like to push and let open up to people, because a lot of people just don't know. Like, they just don't think like that. And, until it really happens to them is when it happens to them. Yeah. Unfortunately. It's just so crazy, like.
Yeah, it is. And, like, when I try and go out in public, if I see, like, a couple arguing, sometimes I just want to yell at them. I'm just, like, when I was at Woodman's that one day, there was, like, some girl, like, nitpicking. I don't know if it was her boyfriend or husband, whatever, and she sounded like a bitch, and she was just being, like, rude to him. I don't know. And I honestly wanted to go up to her and just be like, shut the hell up. Like, don't argue with your spouse in public, even behind closed doors. Like, if you love each other enough, don't take them for granted. Like, you could lose them in 5 minutes. And Mike and I, we had our arguments, but we were always laughing. That guy, he had the best laugh. I have so many videos of him and pictures, and I feel like I don't even have any more storage on my phone because it's just full of him and the kids, and, sometimes, like, I'm in there a little bit, but I was always the one behind the camera. And he asked me before, he's like, why do you take so many pictures and videos? I'm like, because this is all you're going to have left of me someday.
Right.
And he's like, oh, shut up. And, obviously I joked about it, and I'm glad I have those pictures and those videos. And there was one video I have that I have to watch every day, and it's kind of whatever. It's kind of out there. We were laying in bed, and so when I get anxiety, I put sour warheads in my mouth because it helps. Oh. And it just, like, it calms me down, like the sourness, like, I don't know, it's really weird. I was gonna say, I'm
not trying to laugh, but that is
Mike laughed.
I've never heard that before.
One night I was laying in bed and I put like a watermelon one in my mouth and like I spit it out because it was so sour. And I like did a little cough or whatever, and Mike looked at me. I said, "You want to try one?" He's like, "Yeah, let me try one." So in the video, I was like, "Just put it in your mouth." And he looked at me and he's like, "You put it in your mouth." I watched that video every night because that's the kind of person he was. He loved to joke, he loved to mess around, and I will always miss that about him. His laugh was so contagious. If he laughed, I would start laughing. If I laughed, he would laugh. And then, like, his nickname for me was Nerd. He'd always call me a nerd. And especially with his jokes, I don't understand jokes. I really don't. Like, he would sit there and, like, if we were, like, cuddling on the couch or in bed, and, like, he would tell me a joke. And I would sit there and I would try to like think about it, like, okay, what does this mean? And it would be something totally opposite than from what I was thinking. And I would tell him and he'd be like, what the fuck? Like, that's not the joke. And I'm like, okay. And then like sometimes a few minutes later I would finally realize it. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And he's like, no, the joke's over. Like, you ruined it. And so he would have to explain it to me sometimes. And he'd be like, you're such a nerd for not understanding anything. He said I had bird brain, which I do. I really do, because, it's just, I will miss his jokes. I miss his jokes. Even though I hated the jokes, I just never understood it. But, yeah, there was one night we were in bed, and when I like drink my water, he likes to make weird noises. So I would like either choke on my water or spit it out. And it was like 5 days before he passed, and I was drinking my water, and he made some weird noise, and I started like coughing, and then I started choking, and I'm like looking at him, I had tears in my eyes, and he's like, oh shit, and he starts like slapping my back. And then like somehow a piece of my hair got in my mouth and I'm like gagging and like choking at the same time. And then finally everything just stopped and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. And we just looked at each other and we just started busting out laughing. And yeah, our relationship was a good one.
That's good to hear, at least.
Yeah.
That's it's me and her kind of share that kind of thing too. We're like, she doesn't quite understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Jokes, they
Yeah.
kind of go over her head, and I just I bust her about it. It's someone's got to.
Yeah.
It just makes it more fun. There's even things that she says that I don't like. What do you say?
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, because I make fun of her too and how she drinks her water too.
Yeah.
Every time, and she's just like, same with the crying thing in the movie. It's like, come on. I mean, why not? Just do it.
I think like one of the jokes, and it was such an easy joke too. He's like, "What's a fish with no eye?" And I'm like, "Fish." And he's like, "No, Bailey. What's a fish with no eye?" Fish. And he's like, "Bailey, listen to what I'm saying." And he would say it again. I'm like, "I don't know, fucking fish. What do you want me to say?" He's like, "Fish." And I'm like, I don't get it. It's the eye in fish.
The whole time you were saying it, I was questioning too, like, what is it? Like, isn't it fish? Like, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just jokes like that. Like, yeah.
Do you want to take a quick break, let it warm up in here, or
Sure. Yeah.
take a quick break?
Yeah.
Cool.
Do that.
We'll be right back with the break then. All right, we are back from the break, and just gonna wrap things up and close it up. And if you have anything else you want to say, Bailey, and for the people, and
Protect your loved ones. Because trust me, you don't want to live this nightmare that me and my boys are living right now. From losing the love of your life to losing your home, your family. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Make a will, put legal protections in place, guardianship, I mean, you don't have that, then family conflict happens, and you lose everything. I'm trying to keep my promise to Mike by spreading awareness, letting people know, like, just protect your family. I'm protecting my boys as much as I can. I made a will, because if, something happens to me, like, where are they gonna go? I hope and pray things get better for us. It's a very hard season right now. I hope something good comes from this. And I hope one day I can make a change, honor Mike's name, and make like a nonprofit or foundation to help grieving families and children. That's what I want to do.
That's awesome. It's even sitting here with Bailey the whole time, it's been very emotional for me too, and it's not the easiest thing. And I obviously haven't had anything remotely close to going through something like this in life, and I'm helping her get on this platform to help spread awareness for people to do what she said about setting up wills with your family and taking care of kids and stuff like that. And at the end of this video, I have a flyer that I'm going to put up. It would be great if anyone that sees this could help donate for her and her family, for a place for them to live, food for them and the kids to eat, clothes, anything obviously will help. Small, big, large, anything will help. February 28th.
Yeah.
In Janesville at the Lucky Bell, they are having, what would you?
Benefit,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry,
It's okay.
Not trying to make it awkward or anything. They're having a benefit for Mike and for her and her kids. So I guess my final thing to say is I really hope the best for you and your kids. I told you personally, if you ever need anything from me and her, let us know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no matter what, if we can find a way to help, we'll definitely help. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. So that being said, you guys, this is Garage Hangs with Bam Bam and my guest Bailey. Let's help her spread this. Let's help her spread her story and make things right for her and her family and her kids, so they can all hopefully live a happier life. I know it's not the easiest thing to deal with right now, but I really do hope the best for you and your kids. And
Thank you.
I pushing happiness your way. I mean,
Yeah.
really am. You're welcome. So take care. If there's any problems you think is out of the abnormal to that you're not used to, go see somebody, talk to somebody. It doesn't hurt to go get checked up at all, because this incident just happens out of nowhere. And I did my own research on it too, and it's freaking kind of freaky. It's really freaky because the human body is just so unpredictable, and you just don't know what's going to partake in what happens. So I would really hope to see people come forward and help at this benefit. It'd be great for the family and Bailey, and yeah, kind of lost the words again.
Okay.
So thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you for hearing out Bailey and what she had to say, and hopefully this helps more people down the road. go through something like this, that, you know, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So thank you for tuning in, and thank you for coming on here and being so brave and and sharing your story, because I know this isn't easy. I mean, sitting here listening was not easy. So
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. Anytime. Take care. Until next time. Bye, guys.